Hello, my beautiful friends. Julianne here of Julianne Annette Art. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. If you're new, I would love it if you consider subscribing. I'd love to have you stick around. I know I haven't been active that much this past few months, but I would really like to change that going forward and get more active again. Today's video is going to be my completed pages for the month of February as well as March. I really didn't get much done at all in February, so I thought I would just do them together. And for those of you who don't know, I had left my partner, and I have been with my mom for like the last 5.5 months-ish. Just needed space, needed me time, whatever. But I did come back to my partner last month. We decided that was what we both wanted and what was best for both of us. And so I am back here, and I do feel like I am, on the way to healing. But it doesn't make the depression go away. So it's just, it is what it is. Which is, why I haven't been doing a lot of filming. But all that aside, the reason I preface with that is that when I left, I don't drive, so I took a bus. So I could only bring so many books with me. So I have some books with me. I have more books left at my mom's. But I did complete a couple pages there, and I didn't want to bring the couple books with me. And I actually have several pages that were like so close to being completed pages, but I just couldn't get them done in time before I left, but I still didn't want to bring the books with me. So I'm going to basically insert footage that I filmed before I left there from like mid-February. And insert that here for the beginning of my February completed pages. And then I'll show you the other couple pages that I've finished for February. And then we'll get on to the March completed pages, which does have more pages. Sorry, it's a little bit of a rambly intro. I'm definitely out of practice for talking to the camera, but I really miss you guys. I miss doing the videos, and I miss interacting. But sometimes our mental health just knocks us down, and we gotta climb back up. So I will send you over to past Julianne to show the first couple pages. I think in February I did put down, I only completed, I think, 4 pages in February. And so I'll send you over to past Julianne now to show you what I did do with the books that I left there behind. So I'm filming these books separately because I'm not taking them with me. So I'm just going to show you what I've done. I was really hoping for these 2 to be completed pages, but they're just not. So this one, Darkest Desires by Fabiana Atanasio. It was the group page, the group Mythagoria group buddy that we have on Instagram. And so this was the page that we did. And I think I should try to activate this with some water before I go, because I think that might be really dry by the time I come back. But aside from that, she's based her dress and her hair and the horns are based with alcohol marker. And this is all black alcohol marker. And then I did, I think the building is alcohol marker as well. And then I did the background with Neocolor 2s. I had a vision of trying to make it like green and purple swirly, but I think it was just too detailed for that to work. So this just kind of blended with the building and her hair. So I added a little bit of shading with Prismacolors. It obviously needs more pencil shading. And then I didn't even get to this. So when I'm not going to have this book with me for probably a couple of months. So when I'm reunited with the book, then I will fix the background and, like I didn't really do anything with the spiders and stuff. So I'll have to do the mirror and the heart and then obviously some more shading. Like I just kind of did a light colored pencil on her skin, but you can't even really see that. But my intention was that this would be for Jamie's Coloring Love, the Coloring the Movies hashtag, that this would have been with Maleficent, because this reminded me kind of Maleficent horns. But like I said, didn't get done, and it's not going to get done now for a while, so that's okay. It is what it is. And then in Frozen Nightmares by Fabiana Attanasio, the Fiction Kitten on Instagram, and I did this page as a buddy color, and I came so close to finishing it. The background is Neocolor Twos. Everything else is alcohol marker. I didn't get to this stuff. I kind of shaded the roses a little bit and her dress a little bit, but I didn't get to any other shading, and didn't do anything about the snow and ice here. So, it won't take long to do, but it's going to be a little while before I come back to it. Probably sometime in April or May, I will come back to the books. So this one I think is actually completed. Dimensions by François Gauchier. I joined the Dimensions group. And so we did this page here. I kind of wanted to add a little bit more to the dragon's belly, just to make it, I don't know, a little bit more dimension. And I wanted to do a little bit more to the frog. So, when I'm reunited with the book, I probably will actually do those little touch-ups. But as far as at the moment goes, it's a completed page as far as I'm concerned. And again, I think it's all based in alcohol marker, which you can see. And I don't think there's no pencil shading over top. There's just a little bit of gel pen, or yeah, I think it's all gel pen. It's not paint pen, it's all gel pen. And yeah, I like it. I like how the water turned out. I used my the Colpart paint markers that are more translucent to kind of go over and lighten these swirls, and I really like how that turned out, so I'm happy with that. And then in 130 Hugues by Coloring Book Cafe, I did 2 pages for the that mood board group on Instagram, which is hosted by, I don't know why I can't remember her name. I think her name is Vivian, and it's like coloring something, because that really narrows it down a lot. I'm going to put her name up top. She hosts the mood board coloring group, and she chooses a color palette. And so this is the color palette from last week. And so I will show you the color palette that is the inspiration. And I really like how this turned out. I really like how the clouds look, and I like how the stones look. It was lined, and I had to go over it with, I think I actually went over it with gel pen, which it doesn't color over very well, but that's okay. And there's like a little bit of paint pen for the outline on the flowers and for the lettering here, and I think this is white gel pen on the, I don't know if you can see the little polka dot overalls, but I think they're super cute. And yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I think it turned out really cute. I like the texture, and then I made the little sign that says "Live Life in Full Bloom." I thought that was very cute. So that was the first one. And then the next one that actually we haven't published yet is this page here. And again, I think it's pretty cute. I'm getting more brave with adding textures, but I'm certainly not brave enough to go in with some of the stuff that some people do. This one, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see there is the purple outline on the flowers there. So I'll show you the mood board for this one. And yeah, I think it turned out really cute. I adore her. I really like how I did her shading. The trees and the bushes, I kind of went in with too dark of a green, and so then I kind of used some paint pen to cover that up a little bit. So they're not the best, but they're okay. They're just fine. And I think the garbage can turned out really cute. I was going to make it orange, and then I didn't like how it looked orange. And so then I tried to go over it with like a blue-gray, and I thought that would cancel it out. And then it went too dark. And so then I went over it with my very translucent paint pen that is not opaque. And it actually just lightened it up. And I think it looks quite aluminum garbage can-like. So I'm quite happy with how that turned out, actually. And then of course the little flower patterns to match the mood board. So and I added in the little lemons here. I think they're cute. And yeah, I'm definitely happy with it. I'm happy with my clouds. There's like the little clouds, and then I added the bigger clouds in behind, which I think look better than the little clouds. But what can you do when there's a big white cloud shape there? I think next time I might actually try to go over the bottom part with a darker paint pen to make it look a little bit more like these ones do. But I'm actually, like I said, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I think it's super cute. And I'm definitely seeing my growth, like these two pages compared to the first one that I did, which was, well, that was the very first one I did at Christmas. But then I did this one for my first mood board. And I think I can definitely see my improvement with these two already. So I'm really liking that, and I'm liking the challenge of the mood boards. So that's a lot of fun. And so that's it for this one. And back to future Julianne. Okay, and so then on to the books that I did bring with me. Cosmic Slumber, because this is a project book with the Fiction Kitten on Instagram. And for February's page was, I think it was the Two of Cups. Yeah. So it was this page here, the Two of Cups. And I actually really love how it turned out. I used Crayola Super Tips for all of the, just like all of it. It was all Crayola Super Tips, and like, you know, the little dotting texture of the sand or dirt and the texture of the water I'm really happy with. Just a little bit of white paint pen over the black lines. I think it's paint pen. It might be a white gel pen because it feels pretty smooth. And then this here is the Gansai Tambi granulating watercolors, and I made a point of making it really, really thin and watered down because I find it shows more of the color transfer. So I'm not sure how well you can see the colors, but I quite like how that looked. So that was February, and then February's page in Matchstick Mouse, a winter coloring book. Oh, I didn't show you. Sorry, I'm so out of practice. I forget how I do things. I will show you the Fiction Kittens page for the Two of Cups as well. Theirs turned out really great. I I always love what they do in this book. So far, I haven't been loving my work in this book. This is probably my favorite page so far that I've done in this book. And then when you get see March's, I'm less happy with that one again. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's all a learning experience. On to Matchstick Mouse. My Matchstick Mouse Through the Seasons hashtag. And so this was the last page in the winter book. And I didn't want to bring the winter book with me just for one page. So my very kind friend Juliet shared the PDF so that I could print out the page. And I was able to just print the PDF page instead of having to bring the book because, like I said, space was limited in my bags. So I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. I think, I just think it's all really cute. I love her little coat, and I like the bright colors of their coats. And I did use gel pen detailing. Most of it is alcohol marker. And this is Crayola Super Tips, which didn't do great. This is the Nina 67-pound cardstock. And the Super Tips didn't do really super great on it because it's kind of thirsty paper, but the alcohol markers did fine. I like how the sky just kind of looks like cloudy, rainy. And I like how I did the shadows here for her in the puddle. I feel like these ones were a little bit, like they were the practice ones, and then I figured out how I wanted it to look. And then just white paint pen covering all the raindrops. And I added some little extra marks for the splashes on the coats, and I liked that. And I noticed when I got back, a lot of the alcohol markers that I had here prior, the colors were not, like they had faded a lot. So when I would pull out a marker, the color was not what it was on the swatch sheets anymore. And so it was a little bit of a learning curve to figure it out. So I'm quite happy with that. Again, it's for my Matchstick Mouse Through the Seasons hashtag. And this was the last page from the winter book. And then March's page will be from the spring book. But we'll get to that. So that was it. That was it for February. Very little done. And so then in March, I did get a fair bit more done. I want to keep that one. Taking this one out. So I got a fair bit more done in March, and I will show you those. And so I actually completed 12 pages in March and 4 pages for February. And in March, 7 of them were untouched books and 3 were from PDFs. So like 2 books were repeat books, which I guess is the planner and the tarot book. So I have a few whips that I had meant to leave out. Before I get to my completed pages, I just wanted to show you the whip that I have. So this was February's page in Beauty of Horror Tarot, also project book with the Fiction Kitten, and then a few others have actually joined us on Instagram. We have a little group now. And so I had started this in February and I wasn't happy with how it was looking. So I kind of went over with a little bit more color on some of the stuff. And I found somebody online, and I don't remember who it was, but I did get inspiration online for the sun, which I like, and you know, I'm happy enough with snakes, so I will get to that eventually. Well, not eventually. I'll get to it this week, basically, and get that finished up because I don't want it hanging out for me. But that is a whip that I am leaving, and I think, oh yeah, and then there's another whip is in Mythical Beasts by Weronika Kalinska. And I do have a completed page in here, but I also have this whip, and I have a vision for the dragon. It's just, I think, a lot. I'm sorry for knocking the camera. I know how I want it to be. I want it to look really iridescent, like blues, greens, purples kind of thing. And so I just want to be able to be in the headspace to take the time to do it well, because I have noticed a lot lately that I just don't have it in me for a lot of detailing and shading and stuff like that. You will notice I did do a lot of cozy coloring this month, which was really what I needed, like, mentally. But I'm happy with how it's looking so far. My vision is for the background and the foreground to be kind of more almost monochromatic, like still textured, but not, I don't want all the little details standing out. I want them to be subtle, and I really want the dragon to be the forefront of the entire image. So far so good. That is the end of the, oh, actually, you know what? There is one more whip in the planner. I always forget to show these pages. But this one from February, I don't think this artist is my style. I saw Elm Colors did a really beautiful job on hers, and I thought, you know, looking at hers, I would think, oh, wow, I really want to get that coloring book. I really want to get that artist because she did such a beautiful job. But I just don't see it when I look at these pages. I don't see the vision, and I really struggled. Like, the cloud takes up a lot of space, and the banner is pointless to me. And there's a lot of skinny lines. Like, this mouse just had a skinny line instead of a leg, but I made it a leg. I did color it with Crayola Super Tips as well, I think. And I just, oh, and the cloud was the Ohuhu dual tip markers. But yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to call it a whip, because I don't think I'm coming back to it. I think this is what it is. I wouldn't call it a completed page either. It's just this. This is it. But I did do the March page, which is Rita Prince. And I did have a vision for how the colors would go right from the get-go. I used alcohol marker. I struggle with not making the faces streaky still, so there is streaks. And then I think I went in with too dark of a color, so that when I tried to go in with shading, it was a little bit hard. And I used my Color colored pencils for doing the shading, which, you know, aren't the greatest, but it's Amazon paper, so I think they're fine. I am really happy with the texture I got with the hair. That's just with the alcohol markers, and I think that worked out well. And, you know, the flowers, and I did use a little bit of pencil shading for her shirt and the leaves, but I think the rest of it is all pretty cute. I'm not unhappy with it. I like her green eyes, and I didn't want to just leave the background white, so I just took a colored pencil that was similar to the flower color and just kind of faded it in a little bit. It's not my best work, but it's okay. It does actually make me smile to look at. I think overall, like, the color palette makes me happy. The main thing I would like to have done different is just gone a little bit lighter with the alcohol marker on her face so that I could actually shade it in, or pick a better blend to start with. But I'm not unhappy with it. It's just fine. And then we'll get into the rest of the pages, and I'm not quite sure how I want to do this. Because I don't want to miss things. So I think I might start with the PDFs, because that's kind of what I did at the beginning. Like when I first got here, I just didn't really have it in me to color proper books. So like I said, I was really feeling the cozy coloring. I was feeling, you know, emotionally spent and emotionally drained. And I found the cozy coloring very comforting. And at the same time, interestingly enough, I found it really helped with my creativity, and it ended up inspiring me to do some pages that you'll see later on in the video towards the end of March, where I ended up being really happy with what I did, and I was feeling inspired creatively. And it was because of all the cozy coloring that I did, of just like experimenting. So this page is from an Etsy shop called Tiger Lily. And so it was a little PDF book that had maybe 6 or 8 pages in it or something. And I will try to remember to link all of the Etsy shops in the description. And this was just a fun little group buddy color. We had a little color palette with like, obviously the colors you see here, and kind of like a little rose red, red, and all my reds had faded, so I didn't have a lot of choice for my color. But, you know, I like the texture. I like the patterns that I gave the, you know, her little dress, I think, turned out really cute, and the patterns on the things. I quite like the little hearts on this one. And the floor texture, it's funny, like I can do so many things with colored pencil, and then when I try to do them with markers, it's like, oh, holy wow, this is tough, you know? So I think I did all right with this texture on his hair. I really liked how I did the little, it's fine, I'm fine, everything is fine, little cat. I thought that was cute. So yeah, this was the first page that I colored when I got back here, and it was pretty fun and got me into the swing of things. I totally gave up with the mirror and trying to shade it. It was just like, this is it. I'm done. I've had enough now. So this is on the Nina cardstock paper. And then I got the smooth cover paper. And I really like this paper. It's by Spring Hill, and it's like the digital cover paper. And it's so smooth, and the alcohol markers go on so nice. So this was another little group buddy. It's like a group buddy challenge, and the theme was monochrome. And so let me just figure out who it's by. I think I wrote Fuzzy Tails, but I think it might be Fuzzy Pals. I will make a note in the, I'll make a note up here, and I'll put it in the description. I did get it off their Etsy shop, but their Etsy shop has since closed, but you can buy them off of Amazon still in the book. And the book is called Flower Cuties. Sorry, I'm also still getting over flu, so my voice is kind of gone, but I just wanted to get going with filming. So it was monochrome. Everything was pink. I really, really like how I did the texture of the dress. I'm quite happy with the wings. The wings I did on a video with you guys when I talked about my personal life update. The sky, interestingly, over here, I used the fine tip side of of one of the colors, but then when I got over here, I thought it was really big, so I'm going to use the chisel end, but it actually is a completely different color. It was darker in the chisel end, so instead of being a gradient, it kind of went darker than this one. So that's, oh well, it's not a big deal. I think it still looks fine. Lots of paint pen on here, and I think this is silver Uniball Signo on the silver bits in here, and then I just covered, no bark. Sorry, the dogs see somebody, little child walking home from school, so that is cause to bark. Yeah, I covered the wings in white paint pen, but my white paint pen is not very white, and so I covered them in pink, and I think that looked way better. So I'm actually really happy with this one, and I like the little texture on her. I think it's all really good. I'm quite happy with it. Next, I will show you another PDF. This one is from Pixel Palette on Etsy, and again I will link in the description. And this was for Vivian's mood board challenge on Instagram. I will put her name up at the top, and before she just had the one group and it was all full, but she has since started a second group because there's so many people that wanted to join. And so there is a second group if you wanted to join. And every 2 weeks, for the odd weeks of the month, she puts out a mood board and we color for the mood board. So this one was the week 11 one. And obviously all alcohol markers again. I like how I did the planet. I'm happy with how I did the bubbles. I outlined them with light blue Jelly Roll Moonlight. And I think there's a little bit of gold Signo up here. It's still fairly simple. I used a little bit of Jelly Roll Moonlight as well to add some texture to her hair. I'm quite happy with how her hair turned out. I feel like I'm getting the hang of the hair better than I am with better than I'm getting the hang of skin with alcohol markers. It just really seems to be my nemesis. So I might as well show you the last one. This is another buddy color group challenge. It's actually the same group as the monochrome one. And the theme with this was opposites, and it could be, any way you wanted to do the opposites. And so I wanted to do grayscale versus color. And then somebody suggested yin yang was part of their idea, and I thought that would be perfect to have the grayscale versus color with the yin yang symbol. And I mean, I'm really happy with how it looks. I think it looks really great. I like the rainbow colors and the rainbow and the mandala. The alcohol markers that I have, a lot of them are fine tips, so they don't blend very well, but whatever. I like them. I think it all worked out really well. I think my only, what I learned after doing this is I did the gray part first. And then I did the color and tried to match the color up to what I had done grayscale. If I was to do this again, I would do the color first and then take a picture of it and turn the picture to put on a grayscale filter on the picture. And then I could color the grayscale to match. And then I think that would look a little bit more realistic or whatever, however you want to call it. But I still think it looks fine. It was just one of those that's how I would have, could have achieved it a little bit better. So I do want to try doing something like this again and actually do it that way to see how I can make it better, because it was actually really fun to do. And so I did go over, the book is Cozy Escapes by Coloring Book Cafe. Do I have it written here? It looks like I don't have it written, which means that I actually have an extra finished page than I thought. So that's good. But the book is Cozy Escapes by Coloring Book Cafe. And again, I have the PDF, so printed it off. This glittery bit here is actually nail polish. Because it just seemed like the right thing to do for the gem. I wanted it to be a purple glittery for his third eye. And then the rest, oh yeah, I did extend over the frame of the picture. So there's the line here and I just extended the mat and then, yeah, covered it in black acrylic on the outside. So I think that is it for the PDFs. And I did, from Reptiloids, I did, I think I showed you guys this. I think that was in January. I was going to do this page next, but there's another group of us on Instagram. And it's like a low buy, no buy group where we're actually trying to not buy things and we're encouraging each other to not buy things, because so many of the groups on Instagram, like the chat groups, people are always showing things that they get, which is absolutely great. I love to share things when I get them as well. And it's fun to see all the new things that are out and, you know, see everybody's hauls. But sometimes when we can't afford it, we don't want to be seeing all that stuff all the time. So we made a group that was just for like, I don't want to buy things. I don't want to see what people are buying. And so it's just like a low buy, no buy group. And so we thought it would be fun to make a challenge where we have like just some kind of random challenge. And so this one was just like page 23 in a book. And so this was my page 23 in this book, in Reptiloids by Vassal Seiko. And again, it was all alcohol markers. I'm super happy with how the blend on the dragon actually turned out. I'm pretty happy with the water. I did, I think, white gel pen and then went back over it. Might be white paint pen. Maybe it's gel pen. And then I went back over it with a little bit of the same green from the water to make it less bright. I couldn't decide if I liked it better before or after. I think it looks better in photos than it does in person. And I also used the fine tip end of just like their Heathrow dual tip markers, you know, kind of like a knockoff Tombow type thing, and they've got the little 4mm end, and so I was using the fine tip end. Maggie, leave it. Sorry. I was using the fine tip end to try to get some texture on the grass here. And I also used the fine tip end to put a little bit of shading and depth in the trees and the leaves. And I might have also used it for a little bit of texture on the tree itself. So overall, I'm actually really happy with this page. I really love how the dragon turned out. It's kind of like Charizard, which was the intention, was to have like the dragon really stand out. I was originally going to make this guy red, but once he was done, I thought, no, I want him to stand out alone. And so I just made this guy blue, which turned out well. And again, like all the armor is all shaded just with alcohol marker, and he's all shaded with just alcohol marker. So I'm really happy with how my blends are getting without using any colored pencil. Same goes for this outer frame, is all alcohol marker, which is hard to say when you say it over and over. So yeah, really quite happy with it. I drew in more teeth with the white 0.5 Jelly Roll pen because his teeth were kind of missing. Didn't have very many and they got colored over. So that is Reptiloids. That is part of the hashtag that's like coloring with JEJEJ. That's myself, Juliet Colors, Evelette, the Coloring Mermaid, and Emily of VR Studios, and Jenna, the Fiction Kitten. We have a group where we're choosing pages each month to work towards our goals for like our books that we'd like to complete. And so that was a book that we were trying to do for a project book. We were going to make it all year, but I think we've decided to choose another book for our week 2. The dogs are distracting sometimes. Lily, you leave her. Lily is pulling on Maggie's ear, trying to engage Maggie into play. Maggie wants no part of it. So, I'm kind of doing these out of order. I'm actually going to go back to Cosmic Slumber so that I can try to keep them in some sort of order for showing you guys. We'll zoom back out. So the other page that was March's page in here was the 6 of Pentacles. And, oh, I'm so sorry. I have to get used to the placement of the camera. So I did this. Again, it is with Crayola Super Tips. And I did do a little bit of the Jelly Roll Moonlight for outlining the vines here. I tried to do some texture with the grass. Like, I don't dislike it. I don't love it. It is what it is. I used the Uniball Gold Signo to cover the black lines here, and then I kind of created this cloud just to try to make a little bit of, I don't know, interest to the background. And so I decided to outline the separation between the colors with the Gold Signo, and then added in a bunch of dots, which I actually quite like. I definitely think they add to it. But it is pretty brush strokey. Sometimes I can do better with the Crayola Super Tips, but these ones definitely weren't having it. These ones are ones that I have had for years, like years and years. I don't know when I bought them, but it was a really long time ago. And they've been sitting waiting as a backup for my partner's niece to color with them, until I got into coloring and realized that Super Tips were a thing that people use, and so I decided to keep them, but I hadn't really used them. When I was at my mom's, I bought the 100 set of Super Tips, but it's big and bulky, so I couldn't bring it with me. So I was just using my little 24 pack of, like, you know, 6-year-old markers. They're probably longer than that. They're probably like 8 or 10 years. I don't know. So yeah, they're not great. And then the skin, I also bought the Crayola Colors of the World markers for the skin tones, but I didn't realize that they were fine tips. So it's like super streaky on his hands here because I was having a hard time. I think I was having a hard time literally just seeing, because I didn't realize it was that streaky. And then like on her, I was trying to do a little bit of shading on her face, but you know, they can't all be winners. So that's Cosmic Slumber. I will show you Jenna's page for that one, I think, if Jenna has finished. I don't remember if Jenna's finished or not, honestly. So then we're going to go back to these books, which they were more just like little group challenges on Instagram. I've recently, once I joined the Vivian's mood board, I ended up in another chat and have made some really lovely friends in the cozy coloring community, which feels very actually removed from the rest of the coloring community. Like there is some overlap, but I definitely feel like there's like the cozy people and then the non-cozy people. And then, you know, there is an amount of overlap in the Venn diagram, but it's not a huge overlap. Like most of my cozy friends in my cozy chat group, they have no interest in coloring, like non-cozy coloring books. They love the whole cozy vibe, but that's it. So it's interesting. I think I'm one of the few that actually does non-cozy coloring. But that aside, because they're all such lovely people and there's so many little group challenges going on. And so I've joined quite a few of them. And because I wasn't up to doing, I just wasn't up to doing a lot more. I just wanted to sit on the couch with my alcohol markers. And so it worked out perfectly. So this book is Stoned and Trippy Psychedelic Coloring Book by Hella Coloring, which is actually a really fun book. Like it's got some, just some neat pictures. There's one, lots of good things that would be good for space timber as well. But there's one that I wanted to show you here. That's just like one of the most, yeah, this one here, I think is so beautiful. But this is the page that I did. And so it was for another movie mood board group. And the movie was Finding Nemo. And so I did this page because I thought the shark is kind of like Bruce. I love how I did the water. I did find a kind of step-by-step alcohol marker tutorial. I will I'll insert a picture of the Instagram account that I got it from, because I definitely didn't get the water idea myself, and I do look forward to trying it again. Dory and Nemo, I actually ended up finding a coloring page of this, and then I shrunk it way down and printed it out to put on here. Although I keep calling him Nemo, but this is actually Marlin, when Dory and Marlin are searching for Nemo. So again, everything is alcohol marker. There's a lot of coloring over the black lines, because that was just the look that I wanted. I didn't want the black lines. I wanted the shark to really stand out and everything else to kind of fade into the background a little bit. This rock was here, but I extended it past. I added in like these little bits, this little stuff, this brainy looking stuff, and whatever's behind these guys. I added in to try to fill up the background a little bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with, like, I love how the shark looks. Overall, I'm happy with it. There was another little coral thing here, but luckily it was covered by them because it was rather hideous. So yeah, overall, I am happy with it. It's not, I could have done without the planets, but you know, whatever. It was the page that works, so it is what it is. And then there's another one. This was the next one for Vivian's mood board challenge, and I did this one. I will insert the palette. I got the inspiration to do the sky, like the hair in the palette, and I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. And you know, the little pattern on her dress, that's like tiny little white dots on her shirt as well. When I was doing the texture on the little rabbit here, the one color turned out to be much more orange. She was very pink, and then this one kind of went in orange. My greens, I did use a little bit of the Jelly Roll Moonlight as well for trying to get some highlight here that wasn't white, and for some extra texture to the grass. The little dot stars, I believe, are Uniball Signo, but these are actually an acrylic paint pen. They're my A in art, but I had left them here when I went to my mom's, and so they were all really dried out, and so there is some issue here from it drying out, but it's okay. I'm quite happy with this page as well. I think it turned out really cute. And so, like I said, doing these cozy pages, like by the time I finished that one with Dory and Marlin and the shark, I was feeling really inspired to start working on some non-cozy pages, because it really was kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like it was nourishing. It was nourishing, and it kind of stretched my creative muscles. So then I did go on to a non-cozy book. So Mythical Beasts by Weronika Kalinska. I showed you the dragon note as my whip, but I did complete this page here, which is Medusa. And this was a buddy color with Candace, Happy Catastrophe, and the Fiction Kitten on Instagram. And I don't think either one of them have completed their pages just yet. If they have finished them before I edit, I will insert them. But as of this moment, they have not. This is all based with Inktense. All the snakes and the pots are all based with Inktense. I did do the background with Neocolor 2s. Wasn't really crazy about it. Wasn't feeling the finickiness of the paintbrush in between all of this stuff. So then I just went over it with some Prismacolors to kind of even it out. And I'm pretty content with it. I did some shading with the Prismacolors, a little bit of like, shading some shadow on the snakes. And all the little gold chains, all the little and these gold bits are all Uniball Signo. And I'm actually really happy with how they turned out. Like, it was such a breeze to do all these little tiny dots with the gold Signo, which is what I love about that pen, because it's just so juicy. And then I did also use Jelly Roll, the clear the clear glitter one. I forget what it's called. I did that over the gem and her eye and the snake eyes a little bit, just to give them a little bit of zhuzh. And this is my first time doing kind of fantasy skin tone, and I'm really happy with it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I didn't even do any extra shading. This is just what I had done with the Inktense. So overall, yeah, I'm super, super happy with it. Like I said, I was just inspired to start it. And once I started, like, I just loved the whole process, and I got it done in just a few nights, which is great. And I did add a little bit of the glitter over the snake tongues, I think, too, some of them. So that is Mythical Beasts by Weronika Kalinska. And I also did the spring page in Matchstick Mouse Springtime Coloring Book. So the March page was this little frog, and he turned out super cute. And what I didn't realize was the light color that I had used for the highlight of the lily pad turned out to be the same color as I used for the water. But at that point, I just couldn't be bothered to change it out. So I just put a little bit of white paint pen for a little bit of highlight around the edges of it. It might be a gel pen. I don't know. And then I added some white paint pen to lighten up the tips of the flower. I'm quite happy. I love the vibrancy of the flower and how it contrasts with the frog and the lily pads. I'm actually quite happy with it. So for our little matchstick mouse, I did base her with alcohol marker, but I went in with the Crayola, the Colors of the World Crayola, to add the texture of her fur and the little shading on her ears. And I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I quite like it, and I think I'm going to play with that a little bit more because I quite like how her fur turned out. I might actually try like looking at a mouse and see how the shading should be. But I'm going to play with them a little bit more for my next matchstick mouse page because I'm quite happy with that. And it's funny because, you know, like I generally do use alcohol marker on my matchstick mouse, but you know, I tried to use some of the shading techniques that I've been using on the cozy books, like with the frog, and I think it was like I'm quite happy with how the frog looks, but like, you know, using a little bit of dotting as opposed to just lines, which I think it worked well. So that is that one, Matchstick Mouse Springtime Coloring Book. In case you don't know, the next page for April is going to be these little bunnies and Matchstick having a nap on top of them, which is super cute because they're all super cute. What's next? Okay, so I do have 3 pages left to show you, but there's one that's kind of a little creepy that some people might not like, so I'm gonna leave that until the end. So these ones, technically I did finish April 1st, but I'm going to show them in this video because they were so close to done. They just needed a little bit of shading, and I didn't want to carry it over into my April pages because I tend to feel overwhelmed, and so I didn't want to overwhelm myself more when I could just have them done and out of the way by, sorry, dog saw somebody outside. Anyway, I didn't want to have them hanging over my head and carrying them into April. I figured I'd just rather have them done. So they're part of the March completed pages now. So I did this double page spread in Shooting Star by Maria Troll. I think I looked up how to say her name, and I know it's not Trolle. I know it is like Troll, but I can't quite get that L sound, so I'm just gonna call her Troll. So I did this double page spread. It's with Neocolor 2s, and I absolutely love how the fruits turned out with the Neocolors. I did not go in deep enough with the leaves, so I did end up having to shade them with some Prismacolors. This is my first time trying to do this kind of background with the Neocolor 2s, so I really wasn't sure what I was doing, and I mean, I don't love it, but I think it actually turned out pretty okay. And I did go back in with some with the paintbrush off of the bottom of the Neocolor 2 for deepening it a little bit, and that definitely helped. And yeah, just like a little bit of Prismacolor shading that I did last night, just to kind of deepen some of the bits. And I think I had to go over her skin because there isn't really anything in the skin. But like, this is an example of, you know, I just really didn't have it in me to go in a whole lot. Plus, I really wanted this watercolor look to them, so I didn't want to go in excessively with my shading and really smooth it all out. Like, I wanted it to have that kind of organic watercolor look to it. So I'm super happy with it. Now, I had already started these pages, and this was a book that I had chosen as my personal choice for the group that I have with Emily and Juliet and Evelyn and Jenna. So this was my personal choice. But after I had started this, Shauna Colors, I believe is her name, had reached out to me asking me if I wanted to make this a project book. And I am a sucker for a project book, and this is a book that I would like to finish. And I feel like they're mostly achievable, achievable art. And so it's not like, I think some of her other books, or most of her other books, are a little more intimidating. I do think this book is a little bit easier. So I said yes, of course. So Shauna did these pages, and so I will include them and show you how her pages turned out, and they did turn out gorgeous. And she also has a YouTube channel, and so I will link her channel in the description, as well as anybody else that I've mentioned. Shauna's channel, I think, is a little bit newer, so definitely check her out and give her some love. And so I think our plan is just to do like a page, whether it's a double page or a single page, but basically just one a quarter. We're not going monthly with it because that's just too much. So I think, like, for me, I want to do every set of pages as a double page spread, but I also I'd be fine to just like mark, like, these for sure is a double page spread for me, but some of them aren't necessarily. I would just mark down the colors used so that they coordinate. I want everything to coordinate, but I feel like even this is a double page spread because, you know, the star is falling into the water, and then here's the little axolotls who have found the star that fell in the water. So anyway, that's that. It's a new project book. It's also Emily's choice for our Q2 book, so you'll definitely be seeing more of this in the next couple of months. So that is that one. Oh, and then this was Emily's choice for, I have one more whip to show you as well. This was Emily's choice for our Q1 book. Like I said, each of us were choosing a book to work to help each other work towards our 2025 goals, 25 for 25 goals. So I did this double page spread, and I actually only finished it this morning, and I'm still counting it because today is only the 2nd, but we're counting it in my completed pages for March, like I said, because then that way I can put the book away and it's out of my hair, and I don't have to keep on focusing on it or have it hanging over me. So it is Romantic Country, the Second Tale by Erie. And I did it all in Neocolor 2s. And then it did sit a little while, so it wasn't really some of the blues were streaky looking, and I mean they still kind of are, but whatever. So I went in with the Neocolor 2 on the back of, with a paintbrush and kind of smoothed out some of the things, especially on the sides. I can see one that I missed there, but whatever. It is what it is. Sorry. So some of them I left fairly dark. It looks kind of watercolory. I did want it to have that watercolor look. So again, I went in with some Prismacolors for a little bit more depth, or a little bit of like the little creamy yellowish around the edge of some of the flowers. I wanted to just give them a little bit more depth than they had. And then like some little paint pen dots. And I did go around the fairy with some really, really light Prismacolor, just just so that it wasn't just white. And then the light blue here is actually the Jelly Roll Moonlight. So overall, I'm not absolutely thrilled with it, but I still think it's pretty, and it, like, yeah, it's very lovely. I don't know how I would do it differently. I actually do really like the way that I've done the blues. I think if I could have done it again, I might have done these flowers just straight with pencil, or only base them with, like, maybe with a watercolor pencil for a little bit more control and depth. But overall, I'm still happy with it. So that's not the last page, but that is the last page. The last one is actually kind of gory, so not super gory, but if you don't like gory things, then you don't want to see it. The other book that I did not get to that was part of Q1 plans was Circle of Life. And I felt no inspiration for any of the pictures, so I didn't do it. So if you don't want to see the creepy, scary thing, then I would turn away now. But this one is from the Saw movie. So that gives you a clue of if you want to see it or not. So the book is Lights, Camera, Pause. It is by Milo Nero Coloring. I can't seem to find them on Instagram, but you can buy the book off Amazon. And so this is the page. It was another movie mood board, but it's a horror movie mood board group. And the theme was Saw. And so I drew in all of the tiles. I drew in the shading to make him look like Billy from the Saw movie. I covered the wall was all blank, and then this was brickwork, and I wanted to do tiles like in the movie, and so I covered the brickwork. I covered it with black alcohol marker, and I was gonna just try to shade it out, and then I took a gray paint pen, but I went in really squiggly, and so then there's actually just kind of like you can see the little spots where the black shows through, but I thought that actually looks a lot like how cement dries. And so I was quite happy with it. And then I just shaded it a little bit for a little bit of depth. And same, this is all paint pen for the gray. For the tiles, I did follow a tutorial by Demi's. Is it Demi's Coloring Corner? She has a coloring book called Just Chillin' and Killin', which is fabulous. It's all horror movies. So I followed her tutorial. I will show her Instagram name up top. And it actually worked out well because there was cracks drawn in and I covered them with paint pen. So then I just kind of made them little gross strips. I mean, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks disgusting. I think I did a really good job of making it all look like really gross and dirty, and I like that. I thought I was finished, and then I was showing my partner, and this wheel was supposed to be smooth, like a solid wheel. And so I was showing him. First, he's like, "Oh, you missed something," because the artist had missed making whatever is gross in the tub here go all the way to the end. I'm like, okay, I'll add a little blip here. And I'm like, then I'm showing him again, and I'm saying, okay, look how good though. And so I said, like, the wheel was supposed to be a solid wheel, but I drew the little leg and the little foot and the little pedal, and look how good I did. And he's like, well, isn't there supposed to be spokes? And so then I had to go back to it again and draw spokes. So I kept submitting my picture to the group, and then I had to delete it, and then I submitted again, and then I deleted again. And even now I see that I didn't do the dirty grime in through the hole of the shower curtain here, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm super happy with how it turned out. I don't think it's overly gory at all. There's only the one little blood drip. It's just pretty gross. But I'm happy with it. I'm really happy with it. I was quite precise with my tiles for the wall, and then I really wanted to try to get a depth, so I actually chose a point to have like a perspective point for doing the tiles. And then I watched a video on how to make the sizing of these look accurate so that it could all be like really believable and realistic. And this was probably the most fun page I did all month because of like just all the little gritty bits and how it really came to life. I think it's great. The only reason this ended up being a blood spot up here is because the paint pen, I got it on my hand and I accidentally smeared it, so that it ended up as a blood spot. But yeah, I love it. I'm absolutely thrilled with it, and it's probably my favorite page of the month, but maybe tied with my Medusa. I really do love how she turned out. So quite a juxtaposition, Medusa and like a creepy Saw movie. But yeah, I'm super happy with it. I used a darker color. Well, it's not super dark, but it's very green. And so then I ended up going over him with white to try to smooth it out, and some gray over the dark green that I had put in to make him less green looking. But yeah, I'm really happy with it overall. So that's it. That's a pretty long video, longer than I expected it to be. I know I'm a little bit out of practice for filming, but hey, such is life. It is what it is. So like I said, I know I did a lot of cozy books this month, and I really was I was feeling it. I was feeling they're like a comfort food. It's like, you know, the chicken soup for the soul kind of thing. That's what I found the cozy books, just sitting on the couch with my alcohol markers, and I was just really feeling it. And so yeah, you know what else? For the Nemo page, where is that? For this page here, this is the one I had printed out at first, and I was going to make it like coming off the page really huge, like they were off in the foreground. And then I realized like that was just way too big, and so I shrunk it down. This one I colored with alcohol marker, but the second time I had to do it with pencil because it was way too small for alcohol marker. So I have this, and now I want to find somewhere to put it, because I think it would be fun to, not in one of these, but to insert it into a coloring book somewhere. So at some point it'll make a little appearance. I thought maybe it'd be fun to put it in Joanna Basford's Lost Oceans, but we'll see. I'm gonna tuck it away, and then it'll make an appearance one day. You'll see it. So, well, we'll keep a book here. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for sharing your time with me. And I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you subscribing and liking and commenting. Let me know what page was your favorite one of the month. Like I said, I think the Saw one was my favorite, but also Medusa. I actually am also really happy with Maria Troll, the lemon lime or lemon orange ones. I think they're really cute. So, yeah, let me know what you thought and what was your favorite. And I am hoping to be coming back a little bit more consistently, as I climb myself out of the depression that I have been experiencing and living in. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing your time with me, and be kind to yourselves out there. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.